Does stereotyping on television have a negative effect on children? Nowadays, stereotyping is found everywhere. It is seen on television, in ads, and even in people's everyday life. A good concrete definition for stereotyping is a widely held but fixed and oversimplified image or idea of a particular type of person or thing. People stereotype about others' gender, race, occupation, culture, age, and many other topics. Stereotyping causes people to make assumptions about a person or a group of people without even truly getting to know them first. It can potentially cause people to generally view others in a biased and improper way. Stereotyping is known to be exhibited regularly on television, including children's shows. If you think about it, a majority of children spend numerous hours a day watching television. Children are becoming less active and spending an increased amount of time in front of the television screen. Therefore, this is something that most children are seeing and viewing on a regular basis. It causes you to wonder if this is having any sort of positive or negative effect on the child. There have been numerous studies done to see what stereotyping on television is causing children to do and think. These studies have revealed both sides of the argument to have some truth to them. Figure out what side you think is more right and accurate after viewing both sides of this argument in the next sections. Most people believe that stereotyping on television causes negative effects, but there are still some people that don't. First, let's look into some reasons why people believe stereotyping on television is a negative factor for children. Gender stereotyping is most commonly shown form of stereotyping. For starters, males are likely to appear more often than females and be the lead role in children's shows. Jennifer Aubrey and Kristen Harrison did a study that proved this to be true. They looked at 6 different popular children's shows. They found that males outnumbered females 2-1. In total, 29.6% of all lead characters were female, whereas 70.4% of all lead characters were male. Plus, women and men are portrayed with very different characteristics and personality traits on children's television shows. Women are shown as the more emotional and helpless one. Men are portrayed as a more strong and independent character. Women are shown as desirable and popular if they are pretty and skinny, not if they are smart. Men are more desirable if they are tall and muscular. For instance, the cartoon Scooby-Doo is still an extremely popular show for children. Daphne is unintelligent but very beautiful. Velma is exceptionally smart but nerdy looking. Of course, Daphne is considered the most desirable character. This is stereotyping because a woman has to possess the characteristic of beauty to be more desired. In addition, this is teaching young girls that they have to be pretty to be the most likable. Also, many men and women have the same occupations in multiple different children's shows. Men normally have more tough jobs like a police officer or firefighter. Women are normally nurses, teachers, or stay-at-home moms. This causes children of that gender to believe that is the type of job that they are going to have to possess in the future. In addition, these shows are also likely to present each gender with different stereotypical ways they work at their job. Compared with men, women in the workplace of television are less likely to be presented as decision makers or as economically productive workers. The men are more likely to be shown as having more high-paying, higher-ranked positions, while women are less likely to be bosses and have lead roles at their jobs. Another form of stereotyping portrayed on television shows pertains to race. Caucasians tend to be portrayed as having a more family-oriented life, higher income, and living in a nicer house within a friendlier neighborhood. African Americans on children's shows tend to have a rougher life, lower income, and live in an awful neighborhood. This causes children to believe that Caucasians always have money and African Americans are poor. After looking at the negative, let's explore some positive views. Some people believe that stereotyping on television teaches children their roles pertaining to their gender that is expected of them in society. On the whole, studies of television's effects on children's gender role learning have suggested that the media can contribute to traditional and non-traditional gender role learning. Children's view on their television shows the different roles that men and women have within their household and society. They show the mothers mainly cleaning the house, getting the kids ready, and doing most of the cooking. They show the fathers primarily fixing things, teaching their kids to play sports or any type of manly job. This lets children see what types of things might be expected of them when they are older and parents in the future. Some people also believe that children do not recognize when stereotyping is occurring on their shows. Although there are not many studies done that can physically prove this, it is still a belief by others. For example, children may attend more to the animals presented in the program, such as a pet or friend, than they do to the main characters. Children might pay attention to things like this more, or just the overall comedy of a show, than the stereotyping that is present involving the main characters. After looking into both sides of the argument, I certainly believe stereotyping on children's shows is very detrimental. Even though people consider there to be pros to this argument, I do not. As a whole, stereotyping is such a harmful thing. It causes all people including children, to have a preconceived view of another individual or a group of people without even actually talking or getting to know them first. I certainly do not see it as a way for children to learn their roles pertaining to their genders in society. I feel this is the unhealthiest way for a child to learn something like this. The shows on television teach children a very one-sided view on how a certain gender is supposed to act or what job they are supposed to have. Children should be able to have an open mind for their future. They should pick their future career choice because that is something they truly believe they can do. Parents should really help their child discover what they want to be in the future and teach them to just be a good person. Their gender should not determine what they are expected to do and be in the future. They just need to understand that they will have responsibilities to fulfill, but not based off of if they are male or female. Also, I do not think that children are completely oblivious to the stereotyping occurring on their shows. With all the studies that have been done, it is very obvious to me that the children notice it and it is affecting their way of thinking. In conclusion, stereotyping on children's television shows is very hazardous. It is causing the child to start making prejudicial connections and assumptions in their head about a certain type of person or group of people. They are then applying this to their real life and all the people they meet. This can ultimately cause the child to become extremely judgmental and very harsh to the people that they have a stereotypical view of. Making sure a child is not watching a show that has a very stereotypical character is incredibly important. Watching shows that are friendlier and do not stereotype based on someone's gender, race, or occupation will show the child a more positive view of how people should be. It provides them with a more open-minded way of thinking and lets them get to know people for who they truly are.